I'm Mark Hall-Patton. I want to welcome you to the Clark County Museum. We're inside the Candlelight Wedding Chapel here at the museum. You can see behind me some of the couples getting ready to get married here. And when you come out here, these outfits change constantly. We have a number of different outfits in the museum collection, including a number of wedding dresses. You might not think about it, but wedding dresses sometimes can teach us a lot about what life was like in the United States at various times. I want to introduce you to one and talk a little bit about World War II and wedding dresses. In this case, in the Candlelight Wedding Chapel, you can see a dress. This dress is actually from the war years, from about 1942, 43, 44, right in that time period. And when you look at this, you look at the amount of fabric that was used in this dress. It's really quite extensive. Realistically, during World War II, the War Production Board actually had a regulation that they had, or it was a guideline really, called L85, that actually said you should have smaller amounts of fabric being used in clothing. There was a need for clothing for uniforms for the troops overseas and all of that. So we had to do something. So a lot of wool ended up not being available. A lot of silk was gone because silk had been imported from Japan. And of course we were at war with Japan, so we weren't getting that in. So what ended up happening was a lot of fashions changed during World War II. Dress lines became much smaller, much more fitted to the body. You didn't have the wide sweeping skirts in that. But the Association of Bridal Manufacturers they existed at that point, and they pushed for getting an exemption for three areas. One major one, that was wedding dresses. Also clergy, any kind of outfit that the clergy needed, they could have, and maternity dresses. Those three areas were not covered under these guidelines for using less fabric. Everything else was. It really changed the kinds of fashions that we had. And it wasn't just women's fashions. Men's fashions. When you would buy a suit in the 1930s, you normally got a coat, a sports coat, 2 pairs of pants, and a vest. That was a normal suit. In World War II, you got a coat and pants. No vest, no extra pair of pants. The idea was to save as much fabric for military uses as possible. But if you were getting married, the idea was the boys are overseas, they're fighting, and if they want to get married, the women should be able to get dressed however nicely they want to. And so women could wear a really quite a large dress. And this one has a train that is 90 inches long, that's over 7.5 feet. And you can see the size of the skirt. The skirt is actually 16.5 feet around. This is a large dress for a very small person. But this was a way of helping with the morale and helping with fighting the war in a way that you don't always think about. So we wanted to talk a little bit about that today, let you see that there are often things that you can learn from artifacts that you might not think about. So when you come out here to the museum, now this particular case does change out every couple of months, so you'll see different dresses in here. You'll see different dresses and suits on the mannequins getting married out here. So whenever you come out, you'll see different things and you'll be able to learn something new about our history. Now, I do hope that you'll come out and see us, take a look through the Candlelight Wedding Chapel here and the rest of the grounds. Remember, we are only open 7 days a week. It is hard to find us open, and it is $2, but it is 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., 7 days a week. Come on out and see us.